Friday on the Morning Night Live. Welcome. How you doing? It's that day that everyone looks forward to, unless you work on weekends. But for those of us who don't, hey, happy Friday. Lots of fireworks last night. In fact, the fireworks were spectacular following the Republican National Convention after Donald Trump's speech. And like I said, I did watch the Republican National Convention, just like I didn't watch the Democratic National Convention, but I have seen highlights from the speeches. I did listen to some of the speeches while I was at work this morning, and we'll give you a synopsis. I'm not going to do the entire speeches, but just a scenario. I'm going to use JJ Sefton's intro today. We'll use that, and then we'll talk a little bit about what else is happening around the country. The NBA. Well, the players had their one-day strike, or one-day, I don't know, they walked out, and I think they solved racism in one day, because they're going back to play the playoffs. I don't know how that works. Apparently, everything that they asked for is solved, so stunning and brave. I'll remind you of that. Anyway, we'll talk more about it after the intro. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. Stop the music. Good morning, Americans, in the immortal words of Jericho Green. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I am your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight, as I'm known on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel and the Morning Night Live on this lovely Friday, the 28th of August, 2020. I get the great privilege this weekend of helping my daughter and her boyfriend move. I'm excited. Yeah. Anyway, so I get to pick up a trailer this afternoon, because they don't have a lot to move, but enough to put it into a trailer. And we're going to trek from one part of the town. They're moving out of northeast Minneapolis and moving west about 8 or 9 miles. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. Plus, I don't know. I got to work on some stuff around the house too. I got a lot of laundry to do. I got to get caught up. Anyway, hope you have a good weekend planned. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday, like we usually do. But before we do that, let's say good morning to everyone in the chat, because I'm going to get that out of the way right away. 22 people in the chat already. That's great. I love it. Y'all here early. Good morning. The first person was here today was Cindy Rochelle, who gets the bell, and it worked for the first time. Good morning, Cindy. Also, thank you for tweeting out the show before I did. I appreciate that. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. What's up, my friend? Good morning, Gun Fox 61. Good morning, Gunny. And also Renee Mayette, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. And Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
And Big Assassin 80s, Mike Savage, Blarg. I should make a sound effect for Blarg, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep saying it like I said. Good morning to Hate Camel. What's up, my brother? The second person to ever watch the Morning Night Live, right behind Johnny Hill. Well, along with Johnny Hellcat. They were both here at the same time. Also, good morning to Attack Alpaca. Oh wow, you guys have been busy already. Tyler F, good morning. Aaron Meredith, Mr. Hugh, God Emperor of Duncan, Big Slow, you've been listening, who says he's been listening, or he or she, I don't know, has been listening on and off for a while now, so decided to join the chat. Well, welcome to the chat, Big Slow. I'm glad you're here. Apparently you're already subscribed. That's a good thing too. Hey Larry is in the house also. Good morning too. I said Mr. Hugh, Renee Mayette. Got it, Duncan. I'm starting to repeat myself here. That's a good thing. Also, good morning to Donatello Slapafellow, Maddie, who's using the House of Geek handle today. Also, good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. I'm first, and I'm not hearing any arguments against it. Well, you know what? I know, because you identify as first. I know that. Good morning, Truck and Bear. Good morning to Cynical Lindsay. And I think that's it so far. That's actually participating in the chat. There's a few people out there lurking. Lurk away. If you're listening while driving, pay attention to the road. And if you're listening while working, don't get in trouble because of me. I will try not to swear, but I might throw out an Effenheimer here and there, or some other more colorful language, if not necessarily on purpose. Sometimes it just happens, depending on what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into the news. You get half of the bell each. Yes. Well, I don't know if I can do it. Oh, MC's in the house. Stop. Hammer time. And you are welcome, as my family in Nigeria would say. It was really weird when I went to Nigeria in 2004. I met my natural father and my family, that side. And in Nigeria, people are always saying, "You are welcome." Okay. And, here, when you say you're welcome, it means someone said thank you. But when they're saying, they mean that you are welcome here, as in you're, welcome to where we are. And so it always threw me off because people are always saying, you are welcome. You are welcome. And I thought it was pretty cool. It's just a little, that's a quirk of region and country. Okay. So anyway, good morning, Prospero. How you doing, my friend? I'm so glad you're here. It's nice to see Prospero in the chat once in a while. All right, so we're gonna do the J.J. Sefton synopsis of last night, because I don't want to get too deep into the Republican National Convention. I'm sure that there are plenty of people out there talking about the speeches, showing the speeches, telling you what happened, and I don't necessarily need to be that person, because I like to look for other news sometimes, and that's going to be the case today. But I will read J.J. Sefton's good morning message leading up to his aggregator, and you can follow along if you'd like. Good morning, kids. The weekend is here, and to quote the late John McKay, the finale of the Republican National Convention compared and contrasted with the vile, brutish display outside the White House, inflaming cities, and the black hearts of leftists, represented at once our greatest hopes and our worst fears. And actually, my title today, the thumbnail was inspired by J.J. Sefton, who had this image here. Anyway, first super chat of the day, and now our new top donor of the day is Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Who says, "I paid for this bell."
That's right.
All right, well, there you go. There's a bell for you. Thank you, sir, for the $2. If you'd like to participate in the super chat program, because Marty needs some new shoes, you can do that through the description down below, or go to pawg.live. But the super chat link's in the description. I don't know what's going on with my alerts, because they haven't been showing up in the chat lately. So I don't know what's going on with that. In fact, maybe I could fix that while I'm here. Who knows? Maybe just let's do this. Let's try something here. Let's see, because then you can just find it in the chat once in a while. Actually, I'm not going to waste time doing that. You know where to look for if you want to do this. Just go into the description. It's there. Let's see. Here we go. Back to the intro. As for President Trump, he yet again knocked it out of the park. Now, Garrett, this is an editorial, by the way. So just to let you know, and so I'm just reading it, and that's how it goes. As for President Trump, he yet again knocked it out of the park, while any speech from the State of the Union addresses, while any speech from the State of the Union addresses to the speech at Mount Rushmore, to the 75th anniversary D-Day commemoration, or any over the past 4 years were stem winders in their own right, his acceptance speech last night was no different, except for the fact that it was no doubt the most important of his political career so far. Muriel Mayer Browser said to call the police if the BLM disturb you in the restaurants. If only Rand Paul would have stopped for a sandwich. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get to that Rand Paul story. I have 3 top stories today, and that's one of them. Michael Goodwin in the New York Post said, and on day 4, there was no more Mr. Nice Guy. Republicans spent the better part of 3 nights in their convention presenting softer and gentler sides of President Trump, but the president gets the final words, and he came out Thursday in a fighting mood. His acceptance speech detailed his successes and offered promises of plenty for a second term, but the emphasis and energy were committed to a scorched earth attack on Joe Biden and the Democrats. Trump threw so many punches at his opponent that, had it been a real heavyweight boxing match, the referee would have stopped in the middle of the rounds out of mercy. Some samples. This election will decide whether we save the American dream or whether we allow a socialist agenda to demolish our cherished destiny. Then later he said, how can the Democratic Party ask to lead our country when it spends so much time tearing down our country? Okay, he kind of has a point there. They tell us how much they hate. Some do, at least. I mean, there are quite a few who tell us how much they hate this country and they want to change everything. Anyway, moving on, Michael Goodwin's nonsensical belief in the accuracy of polling and even more ridiculous concern over Trump's style and manner being a turnoff. His overall view that Trump destroyed Biden and the Democrats, at least with the conventions, is spot on. Morning Report stalwart Dan Greenfield was over the moon about last night, and justifiably so. And he says, good morning, Mr. Oh, I said Mr. Hugh. Balin Bobby, good morning, my friend. Good morning, Bim Jim. Faceplant yesterday, I posted a link to Officer Tatum's website. Facebook blocked it. Tatum gets info from cop whistleblowers, autopsy, and criminal records. Interesting. Oh, on Faceplant, as in Facebook. Huh. Facebook blocked it. That's weird. Well, no, it's not, because Facebook sucks. Anyway, good morning, Annalyn. Good morning, Dan. Chadwick, you're back. I successfully unblocked Chadwick Dupree. I'm so sorry. That was an accident. I can't even remember who did it, but we're sorry that happened. And he's alive. He's alive. Welcome back, damn it, Chadwick. All right. Back to Daniel Greenfield, who said, the final night of the RNC wasn't just a powerful antidote to the DNC or even to the mainstream media alone, but to the hypocritical totalitarianism and the corporate buzzwords that we have been drowning in since winter gave way to the spring and to the fear and violence. President Trump and the array of speakers for the fourth night did not deny that we are a nation in crisis. Instead, they lit a torch to light the nation's way out of the tyranny of terror and lies. Speaker after speaker laid out the case that Biden and the Democrats had abandoned America because they despised her and her people, that a newly radical party could only envision a relentless drumbeat of change that would utterly destroy everything we love and believe in. Quote, this is the most important election in the history of our country. At no time before have voters faced a clearer choice between two parties, two visions, two philosophies, or two agendas. This election will decide whether we save the American dream or whether we allow the socialist agenda to demolish our cherished destiny, President Trump told a watching nation. Yes, we said it again. Okay, and then JJ continues, yes, the speech was tremendous, but one of the things that made it so was all of the speeches made last night and the previous three from real people, real Americans, and not condescending celebrity imbeciles or self-righteous fraudster politicians who are what this president represents in the fullest sense of the word. That, to my way of thinking, is exactly what makes Make America Great Again so much more than a mere campaign slogan, but a calling and indeed a way of life. Now, there's a lot of critics of that slogan and the hats and shit. And some people don't understand. And it took me a while because, everyone was accusing, well, when he says make America great again, he means he wants to go back to 50 and make America white again and blah, 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 blah. No. That's not what it means. It means, I honestly believe this now because I think Trump really wants people in this country to succeed. And it took me a while to figure it out because I didn't, again, as you may know, I didn't vote for the president. I didn't vote for Hillary either. I just sat that one out. I voted for every other office on my ballot except for president. I wrote in the sweet meteor of death for president. If you're not familiar with the sweet meteor of death, go follow the Sweet Meteor of Death on Twitter. Very funny account. And I ended up voting for that because I wasn't sure. I had my style issues with Trump. I had concerns. The fact that he's actually, he's a New York business Democrat really, although he's actually led as the type of Republican president that most Republicans should want. And the other thing, as I've watched his presidency, whether you like what he was talked about during his campaign in 2016 or not, there's no doubt that he has attempted to keep every promise. Now, has he been completely successful in that? Well, some people criticize him for the wall, and that it's not done, but that's more than a 4-year project, I would think. And then also, he has stuck mostly to what most conservatives want out of the president, except two glaring things that I'm not happy about with Donald Trump. One, and maybe part of it is not 100% his fault, but the deficit spending, we got to, they need a plan, okay? And if he gets elected again, I hope that gets some attention, because we're kind of, I was going to swear right there. I was about to swear. And the other is, while he's been talking about bringing troops back home from those two places that we started over 10 years ago. How long has it been now? It's almost been 20 years. Let's get the fuck out of, I swore. I'm just going to try not to swear this morning. Let's get out of Afghanistan and I know we still have people in Iraq and Iran. I ran so far away. Okay, distraction. It's time to get those people home. And you know what? Let those people take care of themselves. And if something flares up, let them take care of themselves. Okay? That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, good morning, Irish Rose. Good morning. Somebody else just popped in that I hadn't said hi to yet. I said Big Assassin 80. Who was it? Okay, well, I saw Irish Rose. Good morning, Irish Rose. Cynical Lindsay. I think I said hi to you. All right, moving on. And then there was the protesting outside the White House that turned ugly and violent. Many attendees, either on their way to or coming from the event, were accosted and harassed on the streets, including Rand Paul and his wife. Most horrendous was an older man who was beaten and shoved to the ground by leftist scum while just walking on the street to see the fireworks. His crime? Being in public wearing a Trump 2020 shirt. Maybe the whorehouse piss boys at CNN, or SheNN as he writes it, will tell us it was a mostly peaceful ass kicking, and that the deviant knuckle dragging Nazis should be grateful for getting an education. While certainly the leftists had a right to be jackasses and peacefully stage whatever infantile papier-mâché dummy-fueled street theater they wanted, considering what was going down in Kenosha, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, and elsewhere, they should have stayed home. All they did was underscore and put an exclamation point on what Trump and the guest speakers were saying. Most poignant of all was the widow of the martyred retired police captain David Dorn. And I mean, martyr in the absolute stone-cold truth of the word. Quote, "They shot and killed Dave in cold blood and live-streamed the execution and his last moments on this earth. Dave's grandson was watching the video on Facebook in real time, not realizing he was watching his own grandfather dying on the sidewalk. I learned of all this around 4 a.m. when our doorbell rang. The chief of police was standing outside. I wondered why Dave had not answered the door. It wasn't uncommon for him to be up watching TV at that time. I called out to him several times, no reply. He wasn't there. I let in the chief. Fighting back the tears, he uttered the words every officer's spouse dreads. I relive that horror in my mind every single day. My hope is that having you relive it with me now will help shake this country from the nightmare we are witnessing in our cities and bring about a positive, peaceful change." Now that is one of those speeches that I listened to, and actually I watched because I was on a break and I watched that speech during a break, and that was gut wrenching. I got to tell you. Now that the most evil woman in America, Malignancy Pelosi, he calls her Malignancy Pelosi. That's hilarious. Has officially declared the president, the Republican Party, and perhaps 2/3 of the nation as enemies of the state. She has also tacitly sanctioned the killing of anyone and everyone who does not submit to that. She laid down that marker. And that's why the actions of Kyle Rittenhouse may loom very large in the immediate aftermath of Election Day. I pray to God it doesn't, because I do believe that even with the mail-in voting election swindle they will doubtless attempt to pull off, Trump is going to win easily but beyond the margin of cheating, and perhaps in the closest thing to a landslide given the realities of today's political landscape. And so here we go. Our greatest hopes and our worst fears. Indeed. Let's have a great weekend. Holy shit, that was so hard. Listening to her speech. Good morning, Midnight in XL. What's up? Your mom just popped in. Who are you talking about? My mom. Anyway. Okay. Jeez. So this is a couple notable articles that popped out in the state. So we see what's going on, right? We see what's going on in America. We see, lots of chaos, lots of police officers getting attacked in the street. And so somehow the legislature in the state of Virginia thought this was a good idea. Virginia Democrats pass a bill allowing assault of a police officer to be treated as a misdemeanor.
Wow.
Now, I'm curious what it was before. Did they change it from a felony to a misdemeanor? Or isn't assault against any citizen normally a felony? Here we go. Virginia Democrats in the state Senate banded together to pass a controversial bill allowing the assault of a law enforcement officer to be treated as a misdemeanor. That is, as a crime punishable by less than 1 year in jail. The bill, which passed the Virginia Senate Thursday by a margin of 21-15, would allow an assault against a law enforcement officer to be a misdemeanor if the person attacked is not hurt, according to WSLS in Virginia. Before now, any assault of a police officer in the state of Virginia carried with it at a minimum 6 months jail sentence. You know what? And it should be. The law should encourage you or discourage you from attacking police officers or any law enforcement officer or any judge. It shouldn't even be a special protection. It's assault. This is insanity. The same penalty applies to anyone who assaults a person they know or have reason to know is a judge, magistrate, prison guard, firefighter, or some other criminal justice administrator or first responder, the Fort Hunt Herald added. The summary of the bill notes that the measure, quote, eliminates the mandatory term of confinement for an assault and battery committed against a judge, magistrate, law enforcement officer, correctional officer, person directly involved in the care, treatment, or supervision of inmates, firefighter or voluntary firefighter, or any emergency medical service personnel, and provides that such crime can no longer be committed as a simple assault and must result in a bodily injury. Simple assault is a felony. Okay, I didn't know that. I don't know how it is, but in any case, they lowered the penalty for assault on any of those particular classes of people. In their proposal, Virginia Democrats explained that the bill would defelonize assaults. Okay, in Virginia, it is a felony on law enforcement officers. Returned to misdemeanor offense. So apparently at one time it was a misdemeanor offense, and would eliminate the mandatory minimum sentence imposed in the change to the law made in 1997. Democrats said the legislation does not minimize the crime of assaulting a police officer, but instead makes a distinction between serious assaults and minor assaults, according to the Associated Press. The bill keeps the charge of felony, but gives a jury or judge or jury discretion to reduce it to a misdemeanor if there is no bodily injury or if someone's culpability is slight because of diminished capacity or developmental disorder. Okay, that's still weird. In 1997, our legislator made assault on law enforcement officer a felony. This means that touching a police officer without an officer's consent can result in felony charges. Okay, I can see where they might. Okay, I see some reasoning behind this. It still does not send a good message. Let's see. Said the chair of the Virginia Senate Democratic Caucus, ad hoc committee. By the way, that word is not ad hoc, it's ad ho. Just if you weren't sure, but everyone says ad hoc. But anyway, subcommittee on police reform and criminal justice per the Fort Hunt Herald. I've seen people charged with this for slapping an officer's wrist as the officer hands over a speeding ticket or bumping into an officer and walking away from a vehicle. You know, now look, you certainly could avoid those charges when you see them if there's body cam footage and it doesn't seem to be intentional and they try to charge somebody with that. I don't know. Anyway, we need to return to this to a misdemeanor offense as it was for 200 years. Serious injuries can always be charged as felonies. Okay. I suppose. Still, it just seems the timing is very poor. I'm sorry. It's just crazy. Anyway, our bills originate in the Senate and then go to the House of Delegates. I think it's going to run into trouble there. And some Dawg Knight, some of the gun legislation did. Well, oh, that's right. You live in Virginia. I don't know. I think they might need to clarify more than they have there. I don't know. All right, let's move on. Another article of note that, we're going to talk about the protesters harassing and supporting that couple in D.C. last night. I saw footage of this last night. It was happening. So protesters hang on a second. There we go. Protesters surrounded the White House on Thursday evening and assaulted an elderly couple walking on the street nearby. Get the F out, a protester shouted through a megaphone at the couple. Why? The man could be heard responding. A female protester could be seen running at the man and pushing him. The man continued walking as protesters continued to push him from behind. He could be heard saying that he was there to watch fireworks. Fireworks are planned to be set off later that evening at the National Mall after President Trump accepted the Republican presidential nomination. Protesters threw water on the man as he walked and then sucker punched him, knocking him to the ground, according to videos posted by Daily Caller journalist Philip Nieto and town hall journalist Julio Rosas. According to Rosas, there was blood on his face. So this is here's one angle. Let's see, how long is this? Yeah, it's only a minute long. So they're walking this old guy. They got the megaphone in his face. And he had it right in his face, so he pushed it away.
That's all you fucking here for. Let me teach you something. How much money
Fortunately, the man didn't have an assault report. An AR with him. Didn't go Rittenhouse on him. Good morning, Gamer Valine. What's up? Good morning, Kingslayer Dan, please.
Yeah, so be careful. No clan, no hate, no racist USA.
You know, I'm sorry, just a dude walking to see the fireworks, and you guys are harassing me.
You put your hands on another black woman, it'll be the last fucking time you touch some fucking bullhorn.
I don't care how many of those people around me, that bullhorn would be going through that guy's teeth if he put that in my ear. And I might just take the beating just to get that one in. Because don't put a bullhorn in my face and start yelling at me. Bust you in your mouth. Sorry. Anyway, you get the gist here. And then they knocked it to the ground. Oh, I missed that. Sorry. Now, to the credit of some of the other protesters, when they knocked him down, they said, "No, stop doing that shit. Don't touch him." Okay? Even though they were there intimidating him, at least some of those people stepped up and said, "No, that's what we're here to do." Okay. And if the man had stopped walking, he should have, I would have just stopped walking. I'd have said, come on. Someone's, hey, I don't care which one of you it is. I'm going to get my ass beat, but one of you are losing your teeth. I'm sorry. And then one of them claimed he assaulted a black female. He denies the charge, adding he was there to see the fireworks, which he didn't, at least not in any of this video. The only person that he actually had, he did anything to was the guy with the bullhorn, and he like pushed it towards him. I basically headbutted the bullhorn. Let's see. A man was surrounded by a crowd of protesters near the White House. Not sure why. A few scuffles broke out, and then he was sucker punched in the head, and he fell down. Also had some blood on his face. Anyway, the protesters were there to protest Trump, of course, the acceptance speech. They tried their best to make noise while the president was speaking, but you could not really hear it inside the White House grounds. So, I mean, you could hear some... You could hear some of the air horns and shit like that, but anyway. Then also, what was the third one here? Oh, Rand Paul was also harassed outside the White House by protesters after the RNC speech by President Trump. Republican Kentucky Senator Rand Paul was harassed Friday after leaving the White House, where President Donald Trump delivered a speech for the final night of the Republican National Convention. Oh, James Colley's in the house. How you doing, man? Welcome. And also... is now the superstar donor of the day with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Public service announcement. It is illegal to participate in the reverse cowgirl position in Arkansas. You never turn your back on family. Hello. Very good, James Colley. Thank you very much. And good morning, P-Dog. Well, good morning to you too, sir. Holy Oh, if you didn't catch that, I'll repeat his public service announcement. This is a public service announcement. It is illegal to participate in the reverse cowgirl position in Arkansas. You never turn your back on family. That is such a regionalist joke. Damn regionalists. Oh, and thank you for, now you're our superstar donor of the day. Thank you, James Colley. Anyway, several videos captured Paul walking down the street while a crowd of protesters swarmed him and his wife. Several police officers surrounded Paul and his wife in an attempt to keep protesters at bay. A police officer appears to have been shoved into Paul, almost knocking him off his feet. We'll watch that video in a second here, but first, Gabriel Boleyn with the 556. Shooting at some targets, and new superstar donor of the day. Gabriel Boleyn says that bullhorn is the only way he could ever hope to have a man's voice. Oh, damn. Shots fired. Most of these idiots need a crowd to get a semblance of bravery. Isn't that the truth? They love to be brave in crowds. You know, it's fun. Well, not funny. It's unfortunate to deal with, what's the guy's name? The kid who shot the guy, Kyle White, something House, Rittenhouse, whatever. But you know, if you're watching those videos, it is slightly humorous. The first guy, when he fell down, first of all, he's running away. So obviously he is trying to leave the situation as they're chasing him. And he falls to the ground. And the first guy who comes up, who goes and tries to kick him in the head and misses, and Kyle pops off around, and that guy's like, fuck that, I'm out of here. And he went Usain Bolt away from the kid, which, you know, that's probably what the purpose was. And when I say Usain Bolt, I do not mean Kevin Hart. I don't know if you saw that yet the other day. I may pull that one up. Kyle Rittenhouse, thank you. So here is the video of Rand Paul apparently getting roughed up. He was getting assaulted by protesters. A little bit hard to see. Police obviously are surrounding him. right.
What name do you want to tell them?
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. You're going to assault a U.S. senator. There's another one here. I do. Oh, new. We have a new tops, or do we have a new super chat from Bear Cock, who did the Devil's donations of 666, but for some reason the alert didn't play. So I'm going to replay the alert and see if it pops up here. There we go. That's the alert for the Devil's donation. And that is the new Bear Cock is the new superstar donor of the day. Thank you, sir. Okay, so here we go. Rand Paul got chased down by a crowd back to his hotel after leaving the lights out. Here's a little better easy to see video. Say whose name? Oh, Breonna Taylor. And what the hell does Rand Paul have to do with Breonna Taylor other than they're from the same state? Man, shoot that motherfucker. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, people lost their fucking minds. So yeah, they thought they would attack Rand Paul. Thank you, James Colley, who says the star is mine. Thank you, sir, for the $9.99. That would be the that'd be the Herman Cain donation. I might change that one to something to do with Herman Cain now. May he rest in peace, and move that make that shake weight to a different amount. But thank you very much, James Colley. I appreciate that. Paul weighed in on the incident shortly after in a tweet saying he was attacked by an angry mob of over 100. Paul thanked the DC Police Department as well for getting him to safety. That's his. Yeah, I mean they definitely could have been a lot worse, but still, just the fact that you're going to go assault somebody, a U.S. senator, oh boy, that's not a good look for your movement. I'm sorry. I got the people saying say her name and shit, but still, that's just fucked up. Anyway, I swore. Damn it, I was trying not to, and I just did. All right, let's check out some other news here. There's all kinds of stuff. Well, here, let's do a quick reaction from Thursday night's Republican National Committee from Molly Hemingway. This will be the rundown on what happened yesterday. 6 takeaways as soon as the article pops up. There we go. 6 takeaways from the third night. Never mind. Wrong article. We're not doing it. That's for the third night. Not doing it. Oh, but there was one. Okay. But this one I got to read because this is just so typical of how things go in America right now. So there's we have a new super chat from. Okay, I'm going to have to figure out how to say this name. Alhut Elysium. Alhut Elysium. What? Alhut Elysium. Alhut Elysium. Okay, someone tell me the joke. I'm a little bit slow today. Good morning, Scribe Light. Good morning, RVA Dar. What's up? Dog Apple. Thank you for the Alhut Elysium, which I think might be Duck Dog. I just don't know. It could be. It might be. Who knows? I'm not 100% sure. But who says with the 556 donation, all hail Blue Whale, Krill be unto his name. Well, thank you. Thank you, Alhut Elysium. Alhut Alzim. Alhut Alzim. That's just the name then. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay, cool. I had to figure it out. This article is this is so 2020 and so Trump era-istic. So apparently, there was this nun that spoke at the RNC. A nun, mind you. Let me repeat that. A nun. Good morning, George Mason. I love your school. It's a great school. It's a fantastic school. It's the greatest school. Septive Wolf, what's happened? I see you here too. A nun. And apparently, and I don't know, I didn't even see the name of the Franciscan priest, but I have an idea who it might be, but we'll see. A nun spoke at the RNC, and some Franciscan priest likens nun who spoke at the RNC to a Nazi supporter. Right there. So a Franciscan priest has deleted a tweet in which he likened Senora, I don't know how you say it, Deidre Byrne, a nun, I repeat, a nun who spoke at the Republican National Convention, to a Nazi supporter. Daniel P. Horan, a Franciscan friar and priest, tweeted Thursday morning following Byrne's RNC speech in which she praised President Donald Trump's support for the pro-life movement and called 2020... Okay, I'm going to pause here. I'll get the super chat here. For the pro-life movement and called 2020 presidential candidate Joe Biden's ticket the most anti-life presidential ticket ever. She kept going. Donald Trump is the most pro-life president that this nation has ever had, defending life at all stages, Burns said Wednesday night. She continued, his belief in the sanctity of life transcends politics. President Trump will stand up against Biden and Harris, who are the most anti-life presidential ticket ever, even supporting the horrors of late-term abortion and infanticide. Last night was shocking, and here he is. Oh, no. He said, last night was a shocking and sad reminder that not all religious sisters stand on the side of the oppressed, poor, marginalized, and victims of history, Horan tweeted in response to Bird's remark. She may be anti-abortion, but she is as far from being authentically pro-life in the Catholic tradition as is this nun in the 1940s. Horan's tweet included a picture of a nun standing in a crowd holding her arm in a Heil Hitler stance, a picture known as Nazi salute. A swastika is also visible in the photograph. The photo was reportedly taken in Dachau, Germany in 1935, according to the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. The nun gives the Nazis... Here it is, right here. Last time he's comparing this woman to a Nazi, but then he deleted the tweet in his most brave fashion Thursday afternoon. I decided to take down an earlier tweet, which has, and this is great. Listen to his apology. I have decided to take down an earlier tweet, which has been misunderstood, highlighting the dangers of Catholic religious endorsing political parties, showing the historical precedents for such atrocities of religious supporting political movements rooted in fear, hatred, and division. Really? He said, I'm not generally in favor of removing tweets, but in the wake of such malicious interpretation. How can you interpret that? Wait a minute. Malicious interpretation? Do you think possibly this was a malicious comparison? Good God, sir. In the Catholic tradition, by the way, I generally am not in favor of removing tweets, but in the wake of such malicious misinterpretation, I figured it was the right move in this case, he added. That said, my point stands. But you know what? I moved it, but my point's still right that she's a Nazi bitch. that nun. My point stands, and it's supported by church teaching against political endorsements by bishops, priests, and religious. Well, maybe that part, but that wasn't your point. You put her. Oh my God. Horn could not be reached for comment. His order of the Franciscan Holy Name province belonging to the Order of Friars Minor did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Daily Caller News Foundation. All right. Back to the super chat from Bear Cock with the $10 who says, "The star is mine, James. The star is mine." Thank you so much, Bear Cock. I appreciate it. Unless she's a member of the same diocese, her activities would be considered none ya business. Ha ha! Gamer Boleen. Very well done. Very well done. Pro-life nuns are literally Hitlers. I'm just saying, it's craziness. I gotta tell you. All right, moving. Oh my God, the notifications in my over here. I probably have some thank yous to do here. All right, real quick. Thank you to the great and powerful Kimosabi. Well, that just gave me a like. I don't even know who that is. Hunter liked someone's tweet. Also, thank you, Becca Farley. Brexit Man. I don't know. Oh no, Batman's following me now. That's Brexit Man. Thank you for the retweet. I appreciate it. Andra Zhu, who follows me, Tyler F, Truck and Bear, Cynical Lindsay. Thank you so much for tweeting out the show. Also, Maddie for tweeting out the show, and Cindy Rochelle, of course, who did that before I did. By the way, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by the good people like you. Please share the stream. You can use the share arrow down there, or you can do it on Twitter, Minds, Gab, or Parler. I tweet those out on those 4 platforms. I'm active on Twitter. You can follow me on any of those platforms and retweet, republish, repost, or echo. Also, please, if you like what we do during the show, hit that like button, the little thumbs up down there. Oh my gosh, 53 people, 26 likes. Well, if you like what we're doing so far, hit it now. But I will remind you at the end of the show. And finally, the super chat thing that these people are all doing here, you can do that through the Streamlabs link, which is at pdognight.live right down there, or it's in the description down below. There's a more direct link. For some reason, none of my alerts are working. I'm not sure why. They usually show up in the chat too. In fact, maybe I have to check real quick. Maybe they got turned off somehow. But I've never turned off. Well, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Let's see what else we got here while I'm waiting for that dashboard to fill up. And let's see, what else can we talk about? Oh, there's an article called "I Can't Stop This Feeling." It reminds me of an REO Speedwagon song, but I'm not going to read that one. Oh, this is a Democrat sharing his thoughts on the RNC. Well, he makes an intriguing prediction too. Let's check this out because I'm curious what this Democrat thought here, as opposed to a Democrat thought here. Anyway, all right. Now, why is here's what I'm trying to figure out. Why my CloudBot's not working? Let's just check this real quick. Did I turn all my timers off? Let's do this. We're going to click off, 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 and off. And then we're going to turn them on. We'll skip the opening mic day. We'll do that one. We'll do that one. And we'll do that one. And maybe, just maybe, they'll work again. All right. This is interesting. Do we need a full page on this? Front page? Yeah, that'll work. Okay. I can't stop this feeling. I can't stop this feeling anymore. I forgot what we're something fighting for. And there's some shipping to the door. And throw away the oars forever. I don't think those are the words, but that's, I didn't pay attention to REO Speedwagon back in the 80s when they were still a thing. But a couple of my college roommates were from Chicago and knew them and went to the same high school. Oh, we have a new super chat coming up before I read this article. Thank you, Gamer Boleen, for perhaps putting out my very favorite super chat alert. And with the 2669 and the new superstar donor of the day, who says, girls, stop fighting. You're both superstars in my eyes. There you go. Thank you, Gabriel Lee. And James Colley. Oh my gosh, we got a super chat battle today, and you know what? I'm okay with that. James Colley with the 2222, who says, Saint Sinatra said, "There is no cock like horse cock." LOL. There's no cock like horse cock. Put your something in the asshole in the shock. There's no cock like horse cock. I can't know the song there. Thank you, James Colley, who probably will that'll update pretty soon, but I think he went into the lead. I don't know. We'll see in a second. It usually takes for a second for that to change. Anyway, so a Democrat shares his thoughts on the RNC and makes an intriguing prediction. This is from Lyle Leibowitz, who says, "I watched the second night of the Republican National Convention the same way you fall in love, or go bankrupt, gradually. But then it's suddenly stricken by a strange and somewhat inexplicable premonition. It was this: Donald John Trump is going to win in November, and win big." Yeah, I know. I know all about the polls. I understand the deep distaste many Americans, including some traditional Republican voters, feel for this president. And I am well aware of the criticism of his conduct in handling COVID-19, or the riots following George Floyd's death, or any number of issues. And yet, as Trump's first surprise election ought to have taught us by now, when it comes to modern American politics, the only principle that truly matters is the Uga Chaka principle. We vote for the candidate who gets us hooked on a feeling and is high on believing. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka, ooga, ooga. I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. You know the song. Anyway, that's hilarious. Anyway, last week, good morning to, I just saw, who was it? Makita Programmer? Yeah, I see you in the chat. Good morning, my friend. Last week, the Democrats used their convention to deliver 3 key messages. Joe Biden is a decent person. Oh, I should do that. What's the guy that Al Franken used to play? They like me and all that shit. What's Stuart Smalley in the essence of Stuart Smalley? Joe Biden is a very decent person. Joe Biden is not Donald Trump, who is not a very decent person. And being both a very decent person and not Donald Trump, Joe Biden is passionate about amplifying voices of women and minorities, which is one important way to prove both your decency and your not Trumpiness. Yeah, that's about right. Checked my super chats. I missed one. Did I miss one? Which one did I miss? James Colley? Saint Sinatra said there's no hot cock like horse cock? Or girls stop. Wait, this is a new one. Wait, hang on a second. Gun Fox, repeal the 19th. I did that one a long time ago. Which one did I miss? I think I got them all. Okay, maybe you can tell me in the chat. Okay, Boomer. What do you mean, okay, Boomer? Which one did I miss? Black Hebrew Israelite. I paid for this. That's right. Repeal the 19th. I did that one. I'm confused. 2669. Oh, that was Gamer Valine, right? Yeah, Gamer Valine. Girls, stop fighting. You're both superstars in my eyes. I read that one. Okay. Hey, come on now. All right. Anyway. All right. So, okay, we got the 3 messages. Who precisely might get hooked by these messages, and on what feeling? That Biden is a decent person is indisputable anywhere outside the airless quarters of the most quarrelsome partisans. That he shares little with the man he hopes to defeat is obvious. By now, Trump's fans and detractors alike have very few misconceptions about the man's character. Like me, I think Trump's a jackass. Guess who I'm voting for? The jackass. because he has to deal with a lot of people who are way more bigger jackasses than he is, and you need someone like him to deal with all the jackasses. Right? Okay. Anyway, that leaves us with the DNC's heavy schmear of identity politics, a sentiment that doubtless resonates with the party's educated, affluent base, but says very little to those weary Americans who wonder why their cities are burning and why on earth anyone would ever want to defund the police. The RNC, on the other hand, had a much more hearty offering on hand. It had no actors, because I don't give a about the actors. Singers, comedians, billionaires, academics, or former presidents present to offer perfectly polished pans of character. Instead, it had the people of faith affirming the singular importance of safeguarding the freedom of religion, immigrants affirming the notion that, not controversial until very recently, that American citizenship is an exceptional honor, not a universal right. Blue-collar workers affirming that all American reliance on small business, not tech behemoths. Law enforcement officials affirming the foundational truth that in America, when we disagree, we talk things over, not burn things down. And African Americans affirming the belief central to the thinking of Martin Luther King Jr. and entirely alien to the current crop of race hustlers, that it is the content of one's character, not the color of one's skin, that ought to matter. In fact, in other words, whereas one party had the same narrow dogma repeated verbatim with very little variation, the other had, dare we say it, diversity of gender and of race and of experience, but also, more importantly, of interests and ideas. This is not to say that watching both conventions will get a sizable number of voters to stop worrying and learn to love Donald Trump. But it is to say that becoming increasingly more clear that the Democrats' real problem isn't the party's aging candidate or its rambunctious left flank, but rather its relationship with reality itself. A party seriously interested in recapturing the White House would have done well to launch its big bid by drafting a roadmap that roughly corresponds to America's territory. It would have benefited from going long on big ideas and short on big personalities. It would have sought to vigorously court the millions who've rejected it last time around, choosing instead to bet on an imperfect upstart. The Democrats orated, emoted, and fixated on nothing but the orange-haired object of their obsession. To make matters worse, if you were watching the conventions on TV, as fewer and fewer Americans do these handheld device-driven days, you were treated to a dizzying but not altogether unpleasant experience of seeing the talking heads on cable news ask you to believe them rather than your own lying eyes. To hear the pundits tell it, the RNC is one part Thunderdome, one part plantation owners meeting, a series of dark and stormy nights dedicated to hating anyone or anything that isn't white, rich, and smug. Examples are plentiful and sordid, but here's one. After suing CNN and settling for an undisclosed sum, $80 million. Nicholas Sandman, the Kentucky high school student who was portrayed as the baby grand wizard in training by our malicious media, appeared last night to tell his story. He was polite, earnest, and engaging, but that didn't stop our moral and intellectual betters from once again telling a very different story. Sandman sneered. One cable stalwart was a snot-nosed entitled kid who was best ignored. That stalwart? Joe Lockhart of CNN. This is CNN. No better way to describe the last 4 years of American journalism than the mantra coined decades ago by Seinfeld's showrunners. No hugging, no learning, and like Seinfeld, all MSNBC, CNN, and their likes can produce these days are shows about nothing. Thank you, Maddie and Ronan, both of yous, for the $5 super chat. Where'd it go? Where is it? Oh, there it is. There's a couple here. Ronan says, to keep up the good work. I completely agree. Keep it up. We love you, dude. Thank you so much, Maddie, and thank you, Ronan. I appreciate you. I know you hide there. Not hide. I know you're back there in the background with Maddie, but I appreciate you. And also Gabriel Valine with the 556, who said, you should have heard Junior talk about Biden on Crowder. He said, quote, I get some people have a slow start, but almost 50 years of politics, only a few days after people said he did coke and responded they confused him with Hunter Biden. Savage. Yeah, that tweet, whoever did that, they were talking about, they said they had a picture of Kermit the Frog doing coke and said that Don Jr. was, because he kind of looked weird. They had some weird makeup issues under his eyes and shit. And so they said it looked like he was doing coke, and Don Jr. tweets out, I think you have me mistaken with Hunter Biden, which is, Hunter Biden's had his issues. So Joe Lockhart says some nasty shit about Nick Salmon on Twitter after that settlement with CNN. Hello, Joe Lockhart. Nick Salmon is CNN's highest paid employee of this year. Just saying. There's no better way to describe the last 4 years of American journalism that the mantra coined decades ago by Seinfeld's showrunners. No hugging, no learning. And like Seinfeld, all MSNBC, CNN, and their likes can produce these days are shows about nothing. For better or worse, Americans want something, anything else. Many dislike Donald Trump and so will not vote for him no matter what, but many more, when in the privacy of the voting booth, will do what voters so often do and vote for the party that looks and feels more like them and that can get them high on believing in an America that looks like the one they know and love. An imperfect but good nation ever slouching towards a brighter tomorrow. These last 2 nights, the RNC has made a very convincing case why that party may very well be the party of Abraham Lincoln and Donald Trump. And so this is a Democrat saying that. Good morning, Straight Seth Mail. Good morning, Mitch the Ripper. What's happening? So anyway, yeah, it's funny because I made this contrast from the very beginning that, the DNC had all these celebrities and the stupid skits that weren't funny. They thought they were funny, but they weren't. And, they were going on star power. And then you watch the RNC and it's just a person after person, just an ordinary person, not public, They had all these people that weren't politicians. They weren't celebrities. They weren't, superstars. They were just people in America who told you why they love the country. And when you have, it's kind of like, it's almost, here, let me do this. It's almost a little bit like the Reagan strategy in the 80s, in the 1980-84 election, where a lot of people, Reagan just made you feel good about being American, and he was positive, and it was kind of a message that even, especially during the doom and gloom of the 70s, a lot of economic strife, the oil crisis, and Jimmy Carter, who's talking about malaise, that we're never gonna snap out of this, right? That was Jimmy Carter saying, well, we're never gonna snap out of this. This is just gonna be the new normal. And here comes Ronald Reagan talking about the shining city on the hill and, the love of your country and the positive this and that and how this country should be fantastic. Almost a Make America Great Again style. Anyway, and people were drawn to that. People want to, think well of where they live. And I think, despite Trump's flaws, which there are many, his one strength is talking in positive terms about what the country is and what it can be and being an optimism. And again, sometimes that doesn't work for him. I don't think that worked for him during the beginning of this coronavirus issue, even though he made moves throughout. People say, oh, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to prevent this. Well, first of all, you can't prevent a virus. And he made moves to mitigate it all along the way, put together the team. They went all the recommendations of all the experts, the so-called experts, who I am questioning greatly now. But they, he does get credit for that because yes, we have had 180,000 people die from it. Yes, we have 6 million cases, which means nothing. If you look at the per capita in the United States, we're right on par with everybody else in the world, plus or minus. We're, in all these European countries, we're right in the same boat. As if you can stop a virus. As if Donald Trump can go, virus be gone. Or as if Donald Trump could go, shut down the country, which Joe Biden says he's going to do. The first day in office, he's going to shut down the country for 3 months. Wow, that's weird. What if there's no big outbreak in the spring next year? What if we have vaccines by then? What if we've already gone through our herd immunity for this? Because, remember, it's not like Joe Biden would become president November 3rd. He wouldn't be president till the 20th of January. And then he says, my first thing is we're going to shut down the country for 3 months. Well, really? What was your indicator to shut down the country for 3 months in January of this year? What would have made you think that would have made sense in January this year? It's because that's what people are bitching about. They're saying Donald Trump knew they were saying 3 months in April, which would have been the 1st of January, which there were no cases in the United States in the 1st of January that we knew about. What would you have done when that first case showed up? Because you didn't know how contagious it was going to be. Nobody knew. The experts were Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx and the rest of that team. Were they saying shut down the country at that time? No. In fact, as late as February 26th, Dr. Fauci we won't have to make any major changes in lifestyle. Those words came out of his mouth on February 26th. And on March 6th, Dr. Fauci said, well, if you're thinking about going on a cruise, maybe if you're older, if you have some comorbidities, you wouldn't want to go on a cruise. But, if you're young and healthy, I wouldn't do anything about it. You can go on a cruise. Wow. So anyway, what would they've done? But for the most part, I think the president was too positive at the beginning of that. But I don't know. It's not like you could have stopped it. It's not like you could force the country to shut down. It's not like the Democratic governors who are putting people in nursing homes and maybe they shouldn't have been doing that. In fact, right now the Justice Department is investigating those states that put all those people in nursing homes and trying to figure out why they put all those people with recovering COVID people in nursing homes where people would be the most vulnerable. Anyway, Lynn Wood, I'm just getting some more news here. I just saw, the kid from Kyle Rittenhouse. Apparently he has a lawyer now. And I don't think, is it Lynn Wood? I thought he just said somebody, oh my God. Okay. Well, next, Nick Sandmann, maybe, defamed Covington kid's lawyer, takes up the case of Kyle Rittenhouse. Because people were calling Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist and all kinds of shit on Twitter. On Thursday, L. Lynn Wood, one of the lawyers who represented Nick Sandmann, the Covington Catholic high school student defamed by many media outlets, announced he would take up the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old boy who opened fire at Kenosha rioters, apparently in self-defense, and was arrested under suspicion for first-degree intentional homicide. Yeah, a kid running away and then having people attack him. That's going to be a tough case for first-degree intentional homicide. It's not like he went out and sought those people. He was running away from those people who were attacking him. And the first guy he shot at, who ran away, didn't shoot at him again. And then he killed 3 white guys. Oh, what a terrible white supremacist. Anyway, He was arrested under suspicion of first-degree intentional homicide. As with Salmon's case, many media outlets and political figures have demonized Rittenhouse, with some calling him a white supremacist. We saw that yesterday, despite lack of any evidence. Thanks to all freedom-loving Americans who responded to requests for contact information on Kyle Rittenhouse. We have connected with Kyle's family, and help is on the way. Kyle will have excellent legal representation. We owe him a legal defense. Wood tweeted, "Many others need your help in the coming days. Stay strong. Continue to speak truth. Continue to demand justice under our Constitution. Continue to be fearless," the lawyer advised. Most important of all, continue to pray for your fellow citizens. Pray for our president. Pray for our country. And always, 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 always fight back. That's what he said. On Tuesday night, Rittenhouse left his home in Antioch, Illinois, traveled 15 miles to Kenosha. He told reporters on the ground that he intended to defend property from the violent rioters who engaged in looting and arson across Kenosha following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. He ended up shooting 3 people and killing 2, and police arrested him on suspicion of first-degree intentional homicide. That ain't gonna stick, I'm telling you. While many media outlets and commentators rushed to condemn Rittenhouse as a white supremacist and murderer, a thorough investigation of videos from the scene suggests that when the 17-year-old boy opened fire, he did so in self-defense. Rittenhouse, apparently inspired by some form of vigilante justice, should not have gone to Kenosha in the first place. However, it does seem that he only shot the rioters in self-defense. Earlier in the night, the 17-year-old boy had provided some medical assistance to rioters whom police hit with pepper spray. The New York Times analyzed Rittenhouse movements throughout the night and found that in both of the shootings, the boy was acting in self-defense. Yes, there was a great thread by this Christian Trabert, which is this guy down here. The boy spoke with many journalists before the incident and said he was protecting local vehicle dealership together with several other armed men. He also offered medical assistance to protesters. The Times' Christian Trabert tweeted. The Times synchronized 6 live streams, revealing that there were 2 separate shooting incidents, 1.5 minutes apart, involving multiple gunmen. At 11:19 p.m., rioters chased Rittenhouse into a parking lot. While the rioters pursued him, one throws something towards Rittenhouse, and an unknown gunfire fires the first shot in the air. And then, so this thread, maybe I'll just put it in. I'll put this in the chat because it's rather long, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, and I'm running out of time here. But this is definitely, as soon as it pops up on my screen here, definitely the best thread. And it was pretty surprising because the New York Times put this thread out. I'm surprised they haven't taken it down. But this is definitely, if you're on Twitter, or even if you're not, you can read Twitter threads without being on Twitter. There you go. That thread is the best layout of events. It's funny, though. People reading it still seem to interpret it differently. It's kind of, someone said it's kind of like a Rorschach test when you read this thread, but clearly Rittenhouse did this in self-defense. So anyway, now he has Eldon Wood, who's a pretty big-time powerhouse lawyer, and made some good money for our friend Nicholas Sandman. Thank you, James Colley, with the 2222, who says, he says, "Miss Gamer, you're a star in my eyes too, but the doggone star is mine. The doggone star is mine. It's mine. Is mine. It's mine. Da, 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 da. Thank you very much, James Colley. Y'all are awesome. Love you guys. All right, so let's see. Anything else here that I could do before I go into what's happening in our world today? Yeah, just some headlines. I'll go through some headlines. Eldon Wood is representing Sandman. There was a black man stabbed random white AutoZone employee in the neck after watching police shooting videos. While the story sounds outlandish, Watson stood by her story. Police said the victim apparently had no connection to Hatchet. Authorities said the victim is in critical condition but is expected to make a recovery. Jeez. Let's see. We'll just check that one out. I don't know if anybody will be talking about this one. Maybe some people will. So this guy, let's see, on Tuesday morning, 19-year-old black man from Columbus, Georgia, reportedly entered the auto zone and stabbed a white employee in the neck. Police arrested the suspect, Javon Hatchett, on Wednesday, and his arraignment Thursday morning. Hatchett reportedly said he decided to stab a random white man after watching videos of police shootings. Well, that's healthy. So he stabbed an auto employee. Oh my gosh, he stabbed auto zone employee 7 times after watching Facebook videos of police. Oh, God. Police shootings, according to this reporter. Hatchett smiles, telling the detective he chose white man at random and stabbed him in the neck. Victims critical and traumatized by the attack, according to court testimony. Oh, fuck. And that's we're ratcheting up the crazy by making people believe that this is a common thing, which it is not. Holy shit. Let's see. Homeland Security Secretary says Antifa absolutely meets definition of domestic terror group. Now do BLM. Oh, gosh. So he says, I think what we see with them individually targeting law enforcement, individually targeting certain officials for certain reasons, that this is the definition of domestic terrorism. Well, good. I think they needed to do that. They obviously they attack people all the time. Also, let's see. 600 to 700 take part in violence and destructive protests in Portland. The Oakland Police Department asked those attending the protest to respect their community and local businesses by participating in peaceful demonstrations. However, the crowd began throwing objects and pointing lasers at officers not long after the department wrote in a subsequent tweet. So another protest all over there. Let's see. Is there anything? Let's see. Anything about coronavirus? Maryland Governor Larry Hogan authorizes schools to reopen in Maryland. Slams jurisdictions without plans for in-person instruction. California faces a legal battle over Chinese coronavirus restrictions. First Amendment activity is First Amendment activity. Certainly protesting is a protected First Amendment activity, but so is worshiping God in church. There's a double standard. All right. Let's check the breaking news and headlines of the day before we go here. Let's see. As we already know, Rand Paul was attacked. He was among RNC guests escorted to safety by police after being confronted by protesters. On the news tab here, anything else new? Let's see. Top story in the news tab, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe resigns due to health issues. Interesting. Japan's longest-serving Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has stepped down over health issues. Speaking at a press conference on Friday evening local time, Abe cited a flare-up with his chronic ulcerative colitis. Okay, I don't know. I think I said that wrong. As the reason for his resignation, he did not name a successor. That's big news. He's been a pretty good friend to the United States. I don't know if so much under Trump, but he generally has since he's been prime minister. Apparently, there's a controversy over Tucker Carlson's comments. Shocker. The Fox News host is under fire for comments he made about the 17-year-old Kenosha shooting suspect. Here's everything you need to know about the controversy. Oh, yes, the LA Times story is what I'm going to need to know about this controversy. Advertisers distanced themselves from Tucker Carlson tonight after the host suggested Kyle Rittenhouse's alleged actions were a response. Well, okay, we're going to finish with this. We're going to finish with this story. Or is this thread? Here, let's read the thread. That's what we'll do. Hang on. Let me find the beginning of this thread and we'll read it. Okay. So he's under fire for the comments he made about the 17-year-old who allegedly killed 2 protesters and injured one in Kenosha, Wisconsin. How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else was around, when no one else would, Carlson said. In response to the backlash, Fox News didn't respond, but cited the full text to suggest his words were taken out of context. That's probably While many have focused on Tucker's comments, it's worth noting how other Fox News hosts discussed recent events in Wisconsin. A writer for Carlton's show resigned in July after an array of bigoted opinions he posted on a message board service. So irrelevant. And, of course, the hashtag Fire Tucker Carlson was trending. All right, let's find out what Tucker actually said. Let's see if they even dare put it on their website. And that's how we're going to finish the show today. And if they don't, I'm going to find it anyway. Because, they're not going to just actually show his words. Let's see here. Fox News host Tucker Carlson is under fire again, this time for incendiary comments he made Wednesday that attempted to rationalize the actions of the 17-year-old man who allegedly killed 2 protesters and injured 1 from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Now, I don't think you have to rationalize self-defense, but let's continue. How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided that they had to maintain order when no one else would, Carlson told his viewers Wednesday during a segment on Kyle Rittenhouse. The teenager arrested and charged with murder for the incidents. Yeah, he was charged with murder. Does that mean he's going to be convicted of murder? I doubt it. The comments ignited major blowback on social media, with critics calling for Carlson's dismissal. Oh, shocker. It's not like they don't do that every week. 2 current Fox News advertisers, digital asset manager company Grayscale and Gabby Insurance, went on Twitter to distance themselves from Tucker Carlson tonight. Because there's a group on Twitter, actually it's just one guy, but he calls himself Sleeping Giants, who harasses the advertisers of Fox News hosts constantly. And so I'm sure this is just organic. Oh, Carlson said something bad, but Grayscale said it came to our attention that one of our ads erroneously ran during a TV program last night that is absolutely not aligned with our values or what we stand for. We're investigating how this aired outside of our media buyers' guidelines to ensure this doesn't happen again. Whatever. And Gabi, we have pulled all advertising from Tucker Carlson indefinitely. We do not condone his words or comments. We pulled our ads in the summer during the BLM movement. It seems we have been airing still on his show. This is our negligence for not following up and paying more attention. You know what? They really, really want him silenced. And it looks like, oh, here we go. What's this? More justification of vigilante justice. Okay, Liz Power, whoever you are. Vigilante justice? The kid who was running away from people chasing him and then trying to beat him in the streets. And the guy he shot in the arm, you might notice that arm had a attachment on the end of it called a hand, and the hand had an attachment on it called a pistol that was pointing at Kyle Rittenhouse. Huh. Let's see what they call as more justification of vigilante justice.
Well, in Portland, anarchists there have been engaging in attempted murder against federal and local law enforcement for months
citizens.
now. When you try to block doors where there are federal law enforcement agents inside and try to light the place on fire, that is attempted murder. When it comes to how you stop this and why people are doing what they're doing, you're making a choice as a leader not to stop riots at the beginning. There are resources to help you do that. The Wisconsin governor rejected, according to the White House chief of staff, additional resources and National Guard before the most horrific night that we've seen this week in Kenosha. So this is a choice that leaders are making not to stop the violence initially. And I have to say, on the argument of vigilante justice, when you have no police around to defend businesses and people who are being attacked and their livelihoods burned to the ground, then there is a void that is filled. And you have to ask yourself, when resources are offered at the beginning of when these riots break out and rejected by Democratic leaders over and over again, you have to ask the question why. And this is a pattern of behavior, not just now. You'll remember in Baltimore a couple years ago when the mayor said that she gave the, quote, protesters room to destroy, and they completely went through the city and ruined everything. This is a pattern of behavior with Democratic leaders who are not capable of defending their cities and the people who live within them.
All right, so here's...
No, that's a great point. Okay. The vigilantes are just as much the fault of those local leaders who have failed so miserably. Great point. All right, we are keeping an eye...
I don't even like this being called vigilantes. These are not vigilantes. These are just people protecting businesses. And this kid also was giving first aid to people who were pepper sprayed. He was giving first aid to some guy who was shot in the head at another incident. And then he gets chased down the street. He has tried to retreat, fell down. They attacked him. Now, do I think a 17-year-old should be out there with an AR-15 doing this? No, because 17-year-olds are stupid. All of them. I don't care. I don't care how smart they are in the books. I don't care how they have the frontal lobe's not developed yet. Your frontal lobe doesn't develop completely until you're about 25. So I'm not, putting a kid putting himself in harm's way that way, I'm not a fan. But if that kid's being chased and he's threatened and they're going to beat him like they did that guy in Portland, remember the guy that kicked him in the head while he was basically incapacitated. He was in a position where he was harming nobody. Guy comes up and kicks him in the head, almost kills him. Is that what you have to wait for before you defend yourself? I don't think so. The kid was on the ground. People attacked him. The first guy tried to kick him in the head, just like in Portland. Missed. Gunshot. Guy runs away. Good. He should have ran away. Next guy comes and hammers him with a skateboard on the head. Starts beating him with a skateboard. Fires his gun. That guy's dead. Second guy comes with him with a pistol in hand, pointing at him. Shot him too. Took half of his bicep off. People didn't fuck with him. He gets away. Now he's in custody. I guess we'll see what happens. But, and should he have been in that situation? Probably not. Not a 17-year-old. But they were there protecting businesses that were already being burned down. I'm not sure what your solution is there. Chris Wallace or Los Angeles Times or anyone who is pulling out from advertising with Tucker Carlson. Now, I don't have. Maybe I can find here. Let's see if we can find Tucker's segment, and we'll do that. Let's go, Tucker Carlson. Let's see what Tucker actually said. Okay. Tucker Carlson draws backlash after saying 17-year-old Kenosha shooting suspect maintained order when no one else would. Truth. Here's
how shocked are we? So are we really surprised that looting and arson accelerated to murder? How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would?
Okay, that's the controversial statement. Oh, Lord, I'm Tucker Carlson's daughter, and I have some things to say. We're going to... Blair Erskine. Are you Tucker Carlson's daughter? I don't know. Calls grow for Tucker Carlson to be fired for Fox News. Why? Because he has an opinion you don't like? He has an opinion you don't like. Fire Tucker Carlson, of course. Constantly. Oh, and then now this. Probably only showing that couple seconds of the clip. I bet they don't show the whole segment. This is him on the looting at Target. That's from before. Are they only showing the 17 seconds? Pretty much. Yeah, see? There they are. Sleeping Giants. Oh, you can't see this even. There they are. Sleeping Giants. Last night, Tucker Carlson excused vigilantism and political violence. No, he didn't. Hey, Sleeping Giants. I bet you're excusing political violence, though. I bet you are. I bet you there's not one single post on the political violence that's been going on in the country for the last 3 months now. But Tucker Carlson said something bad. Let's see how many seconds. They only have 13 seconds. So the one statement only...
Town like Kenosha, Wisconsin, into a hellscape where 17-year-olds are shooting people. You didn't do that. The cops didn't do that. The left did that.
Yep.
So who did that?
Okay. Is anyone disagree with that? Okay. Anyway, I please. I would use more colorful language, but I'm trying not to swear today. What political violence? There's only far right extremism. Yeah. Oh God, it's amazing. The blinders they have for things set on fire. You know, my thumbnail. Where's my thumbnail? Where's here? Hang on a second here. Here's your choices right now. If you haven't seen the thumbnail today, where the hell did I save that? It's in my folder here. Hang on a second. Let me give you here's your choices. It's in my thumbnail. Just a second, I'll pop this up. Un momento, por favor. Here's the contrast from last night. God, my computer's slow. So here's the contrast. Hope and fear. Now, this part over here, is there anyone here who might describe that as political violence? I mean, I know it's just a fire. It's the fire of peace. They're just roasting marshmallows and weenies. But, I'm saying to myself, that seems to be some political violence there. Just saying. Good morning, Keeverdam. Sorry I'm so late to see it. Noticing you here. Have you been here a while? Oh. In the immortal words of James Brown, good God. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today on the Morning Night Live. Hey, the Flames of Tranquility. Exactly. Thank you, everybody, today for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for those in the back. And before you go, if you haven't done so already and you like what we do, hit the like button. Thanks for everyone in the chat participating. Also, thanks for all the super chat love. Y'all are fucking awesome today. I swore. Thank you. Let's see, we got Black Hebrew Israelite, James Colley, Gamer Valine, Bear Cock, Alhut Alazim, James Colley, Maddie, and Ronan. Thank you, Ronan. I appreciate it. And Maddie, too. And all you guys are fantastic. And if you're watching on replay, please leave a comment in the comment section. Super chats and donations can be done at pdognight.live or through Venmo and Cash App, which are in the description down below. That's it for today, everybody. I really need to leave. Thank you for being here again. My name is P Dog. Wait, what is that weird thing up there? It looks like a football, doesn't it? Anyway, that's weird. I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dawg Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.